in a race that felt like it saw everything from controversy to pit road chaos to everything in between. It ended up being Ryan Blaney snapping his long 59 race winless streak. Of course, yes, Ryan Blaney has not won a points race since Daytona Summer 2021, I believe. And yeah, he finally won a points race again. Of course, last year he won the All-Star race, but not a points-paying race. Doesn't get you into the playoffs. You don't get all that stuff. But you get $1 million, which is nice. But he finally ended that streak, and it's also his first crown jewel win. He wins the Coca-Cola 600, a race that was supposed to be run yesterday, started today, and at lap 150-ish, there was a rain delay again. So this race started at like 2:15, 2:20 p.m. Central Time. It's currently 8 o'clock, so almost 6 hours with the rain delay. Very long race. And of course, Team Penske sweeps the weekend with winning the Indianapolis 500 with Joseph Newgarden, and now with Ryan Blaney winning the Coca-Cola 600. And of course, Ryan Blaney copied his celebration, running into the crowd, celebrating with the fans, which is always cool. So, Ryan Blaney snapping his long winless streak was really cool to see. He got really emotional during his post-race interview as well. Just talking about how he hasn't won in a while. It's so cool to win these types of races. A lot of excitement getting out of the car. It's been a while since he's won, so understandable, but great to see him back in victory lane. Great to see him when he had a cool-looking race car, too. I think body armor, I don't know if they had a new flavor or something, but a cool-looking race car. Really cool to see. We had controversy in this race. I already did a short video on the Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott wreck. Elliott's kind of intentionally wrecked Hamlin there, and Hamlin decided to provide evidence. He decided to provide the data, SMT data. Here's what Hamlin said. He said, removing all doubt, his steering came back to the exact same position it had previously after we came off the wall. The higher the line on steering, the further left it's going. The second tweet, he said, absolute left hook. Cranked the wheel 4 times harder left than he did making any corner through the whole day. BS move. And then here's the actual data. You can pause at it, look at it. You can see the steering right there. Shoots up to the top, meaning that he hooked a hard left. So yeah, Chase Elliott, as I said, it looked pretty intentional off the bat. Some people were trying to argue that Keselowski hit Elliott into Hamlin, which was not the case at all in the first place. But now this really confirms that it was not the case. The data pretty much confirms what we already thought. Elliott intentionally wrecked Hamlin, so I'd like to think NASCAR would be consistent with this call, like what they did with Bubba in the fall, but sometimes NASCAR's inconsistent. But if they are being consistent, Elliott will receive a 1-race suspension and will miss the race at Gateway next week. I don't know how that affects his playoff status. Like, you have to get a waiver if you miss a race. How does it work with suspensions? I don't know, but Denny Hamlin providing receipts of the data, providing the evidence that Chase Elliott intentionally wrecked him once again. Dumb move by Elliott. Yeah, he has a right to be mad that he got pinched into the wall, forced into the wall by Hamlin, but in no circumstance does left hooking or right rearing someone into the wall, is that an acceptable thing to do at any racetrack. Charlotte, Vegas, Martinsville, I said this all in my last video. It's not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. BS move by Elliott is what Hamlin called it. I agree with it. I expect the penalty report when that comes out tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day it comes out. I expect to see a suspension for Chase Elliott. I don't like that move at all. And Hamlin's right. BS move. Anyways, this race was actually outside of that, it was a fantastic race. It almost got to a crap fest at the end with a lot of spins and wrecks, but they kept it clean the last 20 or so laps. But a fantastic race. We saw lots of different guys in the top 10, but we saw about the same 4 to 5 guys leading. Blaney dominated this race, led over 160 laps. Byron almost led 100 laps. Reddick led a good chunk of this race. Truex was up there for a bit. I think Kyle Busch might have led a couple of laps. But yeah, those felt like those were the big 3. Reddick, Blaney, Byron were really the guys who dominated this race. Bell was up there for a bit before he had some issues, but it was really those 3 guys that dominated. But we still saw a lot of guys up front. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, even there at the end, Bubba Wallace was getting up there. Stenhouse was up there. Buescher won stage 2. So we saw a lot of different faces up front, but The racing from front to back was fantastic. 2 wide, 3 wide, keeping it clean. Fantastic moves throughout the night. It was a fantastic race. Last year I thought was the best Coca-Cola that I had ever seen, and I've been a fan since 2010. And this year's is right on up there. I don't know if it was better than last year's, but it's up there in terms of how good the racing was, how good everything from the night was. Fantastic race. Not a lot of complaints. I could have done without the whole intentional wreck of Elliott on Hamlin, but, you know, it happened. So I can't really, like, just say, oh, forget that happened. But, you know, it did indeed happen. So, yeah, other than that, fantastic race, as I said. I'm trying to think of anything else. There was that rain delay in the middle of it. Of course, this race on Memorial Day, remembering all the soldiers, the people who have served in the military, have lost their lives. Memorial Day, that is for them, their families to remember. But yeah, Ryan Blaney, your winner. I don't know how I forgot to mention this and all the chaos of that race that happened, but Bubba Wallace and Aric Almirola got in an almost fight during the rain delay, during stage 2. Like, during stage 2 of a rain delay, Aric Almirola just shoves Bubba Wallace for, I don't know why. I think Almirola said he flipped him off or something. It's stage 2 of the Coke 600. They didn't even wreck or make contact, and Almirola's trying to fight him mid-race. Almirola, what are you doing? Yeah, that's my opinion on that. Like, hard racing happens. You get flipped off in racing a lot. But, I don't get why are you trying to fight him during stage 2 of a rain delay, Aric? That's my opinion on that. I guess we can go to the finishing results here. If I think of anything else, I'll say it in here. Ryan Blaney, as I run over my charging cord, is your winner. His first win in 59 races, as I stated earlier. Great win for him. Impressive win. He's dominated a lot of races before, and then somehow it goes wrong. I remember Texas 2020. He dominated that race, swept the stages, might have led over 200 laps, but an odd-timed caution put Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick out front, and Austin Dillon won. But Ryan Blaney, fantastic performance, gets himself a very impressive win, gets himself his first crown jewel win, the Coca-Cola 600. Fantastic win for him. Very fantastic. Really good for him. Roger Penske, that whole team. Penske, only their second win of the year. Honestly, might only be Ford's second win of the year, but great showing by Blaney. He dominated this race, a well-deserved win. William Byron, second place. He's staying extremely consistent. Top 5, top 3, top 2, whatever it takes. He's got 3 wins on the year. He led a ton of laps once again, got a stage win, so he got a playoff point. But Byron, once again, showing his consistency so far this year. He's doing a great job of keeping it up. It was about this time that he really fell off, but right now he's keeping it up. He's running up front, leading laps, being consistent. He's going to be a championship threat. Martin Truex Jr. third, was in the top 5 or top 10 most of the day. Up here in contention at the end. Really good result for him. Fourth place, Bubba Wallace, was not anywhere this entire race. This is a track I thought he would do really good at. The mile and a half suit his style, and Toyota provides really good cars. But Bubba, top 15 at best today, but got a monster last restart. Might have had fresher tires, I don't know, but ends up finishing 4th. Fantastic day for him. He's got consecutive top 10s, I think. So really making a good charge for the points in terms of the playoffs. 5th place, Tyler Reddick up front all day long, led a ton of laps. Had a fantastic save somewhere in this race, but fantastic result for him. Despite only finishing 5th, he could have had a race-winning car. I think he was top 3, but 5th place, really good for him. 6th place, Kyle Busch was top 10 most of the day. Really good result for him. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., top 10, top 15 speed all day long. Finishes 7th. He gets the result to show for it. Darlington, they had top 10 speed, but unfortunately wrecked out of that one. But this time, they get the result to show for it. 7th place for Stenhouse. Great job by him. Chris Buescher finishes 8th. A really good result for him. RFK's been killing it this year. A really good result for Buescher to finish 8th. Won a stage as well. 9th place, Austin Dillon, had fresh tires there at the end. A double top 10 for RCR. Great result for him. 10th place, Zane Smith. How about Zane Smith? He only gets a select few races in the 38. Made a strategy call, so he did lead a few laps there, but he ends up finishing 10th. 11th place, Kevin Harvick in his final Coca-Cola 600. Alex Bowman in his big return finishes 12th. Really good for him. He's probably in the playoffs now. He was only 5 points out behind Chase Briscoe entering this race. And yeah, he's probably in right now, but a really good result for him is 600 miles on a bad back. Not too bad. 13th, Ryan Preece. And, I forgot to mention, SHR with a terrible start to their day. When that competition came out on lap 40, 35, 40, somewhere in there, the best running SHR car was 29th. Kevin Harvick started second and was back to 29th by lap 35. And the other 3 SHR cars were all behind him. So for them to get in 11th and 13th with 2 of their cars is honestly mad impressive. They had a horrific start to the day. The fact that they got 11th and 13th here is a miracle. AJ Allmendinger, 14th, was up in the top 10 near the end, but got involved in a wreck, but rallies back for 14th. Justin Haley, 15th, has to run the Xfinity Series race here in a bit. JJ Yeley, 16th for Rickware Racing. Hell of a job for JJ. 17th, Corey LaJoie, good top 20 for him. Harrison Burton, Brad Keselowski was top 10, top 5 early on in this race. Had a couple of incidents that ruined his day. Chase Briscoe, 20th. How did they get 3 cars in the top 20? Joey Logano, 21st. Ross Chastain, 22nd. Daniel Suarez, 23rd. Christopher Bell, 24th. Great in the beginning of the race, but got a penalty for unapproved adjustments during the red flag and had to start at the rear, and that kind of ruined his day. 25th, Aric Almirola. Ty Gibbs, 26th. Top 10 for a good chunk of the day, but was involved in a wreck that was not his fault. 27th, Ty Dillon. 28th, Michael McDowell. 29th, BJ McLeod. 30th, Kyle Larson triggered a big wreck at the end by just simply losing it and wrecking a bunch of guys, including Ty Gibbs. Austin Cindric, 31st. 32nd, Eric Jones. What a horrible day for Legacy Moto Club. Oh my gosh. All 3 of their cars went to the garage in the span of 2 laps. Jones and Gregson hit the same piece of debris, believe it or not, which destroyed their radiators, and they both end up finishing 50-plus laps down. Todd Gilliland, 33rd. Chase Elliott, 34th. Chase Elliott. He's going to be suspended. I don't know what he was doing. And it also doesn't help that he had a slim chance of making the playoffs on points. He was only 63 points behind entering today. This race hands out the most points, and he does this. Like, not only does he wreck without stage points, but if he misses next week's race, that essentially puts him back in the must-win territory. So, good job, Chase Elliott. You really screwed yourself there. 35th, Denny Hamlin. I hope he's okay, but I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say on his podcast. Noah Gragson, 36th, and Jimmy Johnson, 37th. Multiple incidents for Johnson today in his grand return to the Coca-Cola 600. So, yeah, an eventful Coca-Cola 600. Lots happened in this race. Chaotic there for a bit, but really good racing overall. I give it a 9 out of 10. Really good race. So, thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sure I'll be back with a video this week about NASCAR news. I am traveling on Thursday. So my schedule from Thursday to Sunday, well, Thursday to Monday, maybe Tuesday, is very in the air. But I'm sure whenever Chase Elliott gets suspended, I'll put something out there, or doesn't get suspended. I'm hoping NASCAR's consistent and suspends him, but you never know with NASCAR. But thanks for watching this once again. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed your holiday weekend and the Coca-Cola 600.